Welcome back, everybody. We carry on talking about sport in the province. Now, in case you missed out last week, we had a fantastic interview with the president of Western Cape Tennis. Western Cape Tennis, of course, doing extremely well in the Western Cape with their league structures and their high-performance athletes. And we thought we would show you that interview one more time. Riad, let's start with 2020. A lot of learning curves in 2020, but you're carrying that forward into 2021.
Yeah, absolutely, JP. So we learned a lot of lessons, and I think the lesson number one was we've got to engage more with our members. You've got to keep engaging with the members. We took a lot for granted. Before COVID, we thought, we're carrying on, we're happy with what we're doing. But you never really realized how much you had to engage with your members until there wasn't tennis. And when there wasn't tennis, you had to tell yourself, do I give up on my members or do I keep them engaged? And we decided, let's keep them engaged. And with Western Cape Tennis Federation and the sports federation's help, your help and everyone else, we're setting up these groups, staying in touch with each other, and then saying, what can we do? So the first one was to make sure we stay in contact with our members. Number two, get the members that are on the sideline that think, I can just pitch up at a club every so often. I don't have to become a member. Get them on board. The next one was to get everybody compliant. So all the coaches, get them signed up. Get all the clubs registered. There were so many clubs that weren't part of the federation. We got all of them registered and up and running. And then to get all the coaches, the road coach, the coach that thought he knows too much, the coach that didn't do a course, or the coach that's watched Roger Federer on TV and thought he now knows something. So it was to get all those coaches. So then we said to the guys, if we go back, we want to be ready. So there was a huge amount of work to do in the background.
Talking about in the background, one of the dynamics that we saw during the lockdown period is this obvious migration to digital. And of course, we know that the information that is out there is that we've never in the history had such a captive audience. And during the time of talking to tennis, we were able to find out so many of the things that we didn't know about. Like, for example, your high-performance coaches and some of the superstars that you've got coming through the ranks that are playing moving into the professional space. We found out about your high-performance facilities and the work that you're doing there. Has this been an opportunity also to showcase tennis, maybe even beyond the normal Saturday result?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, it's a multi-pronged approach. And also many of the club members, the guy that just plays social, he knows about Nadal and Federer, but he doesn't know about a Kelly Ahrens. He doesn't know about a Lloyd Harris. He doesn't know about a Monsi, Colo. They don't know those things. They also, many members say, what does the federation do for me? They don't actually realize how much the federation does for you. Yeah. But when the government says you can't go and play, now they run back to the federation. Suddenly a guy you've never spoken to in your life says, hey, Riad, what can you do for me? And that's where now you've got him engaged. And now you can say, well, let's do a couple of things. Number one, get yourself registered. Number two, you're not a member, become a member. Number three, your club's not registered, become a member. Yeah. The coach that wasn't registered, you need a temporary COVID license from us to coach when you go back. Become a member, get upgraded, get qualified. And that's where you can start doing things. And then you have a chance to also say to the guys, listen, so you're not on court, but now I can tell you a lot more. I can tell you about David Samai. I can tell you about our juniors. I can tell you about training. I can tell you about coaching videos.
I want to quickly talk about some of the athletes. You've had some great opportunities for the athletes. You mentioned Kelly Ahrens. We know that last year we spoke to Donnie Morkel. He was telling us about that big event that you had. I think it was in the Strand area. Yep. Kelly Ahrens, one of your superstars coming through the ranks.
Yeah, absolutely. And, at the end of the day, she won the tournament. I mean, I'll send you some photos later on. She actually won. She beat an international player from Belgium, and she won the tournament. She has an ITF junior title. Absolutely fantastic. And this is during COVID. This is where some people said, you can't leave your front door, you can't do this, you can't do that. But you can. And the way you can do it is by being COVID compliant, doing everything right. So you do your social distancing, you do your washing of your hands, you do your safe spaces, you do everything not to spread it, but it doesn't mean that you give up on life. A huge amount can be done. No matter what you'll do in life, that title stays with you. But more importantly, a lot of these top players would have gone overseas to play. But
Yeah.
because you couldn't travel, they then played in all our local tournaments. Our local tournaments had all our high-profile players. All our top players played in our local tournaments. And then, of course, because we could prove to government that we could host tournaments, we could stay safe, we didn't spread COVID, we were then allowed to even host our internationals. And next week in Poch, we're going to be doing Ilana Kloss ladies professional events, men's professional events. During this time, we've appointed a new Fed Cup or Billie Jean Cup captain, which is Roxanne Clark. People will know her. She's come through the ranks. Both her mother and her father were excellent tennis players. She is now our ladies captain. We've appointed Christoph van Rensburg. He is our new Men's Davis Cup captain. So a huge amount is happening within the space, as well as running a full tournament, you know.
That's fantastic. Riad, in addition to obviously these, I mean, you've got a Roxanne Clark that is in a position now. You've got a Christoph van Rensburg. You mentioned he's been positioned as the captain. You've mentioned Lloyd Harris. We know about Kelly Arons as well. I mean, these are all athletes that are coming through the ranks. It's fantastic to see them, but they're only coming through the ranks because you've created an opportunity for them to play, for an opportunity for them to compete. And that seems to be one of the vital factors, that if you did not find a way to have an event to work through these difficult COVID circumstances, then these athletes would not have had these opportunity.
Absolutely, you know, so it starts, I said, it starts with a club, you know. If you didn't get a Lloyd Harris or Kelly going to a club or having a club or getting top quality coaching, you'd never know how good they are. You know, I say is, if you think about it at a different stage, if Roger Federer didn't have opportunity to hit a tennis ball, or Djokovic or Nadal, you wouldn't know about them at all. So we got to do exactly the same, because who says our next superstar isn't that 5-year-old that we're coaching, or the guy at the development center that we're trying to fast track? You don't know. And you know, as I say, is people know that superstars, but get to know all your athletes. You'll be amazed how many players we have in the top 1,000. Now, you might think top 1,000, but if somebody is 780 in the world, he is probably the 700, well, he is definitely not probably the 780th best player in the world. How many people can say that about someone? So you got to recognize it, and you must know, for him to get there, he has spent his 10,000 hours plus.
Absolutely. I think it's fantastic. And it's all happening because Western Cape Tennis is making it happen. Riad, we're going to leave it at that. Hopefully we'll catch up with you in the next couple of weeks and find out about some of the events that's coming up, because we know that you've got a chock-a-block calendar. You guys are playing leagues, and we're looking forward to see how many more athletes are actually coming through the ranks. You've done
exactly.
so well so far.
Watch these Poch ones. They're going to be on TV. Many of them are going to be live streamed. The information will be on our website. And then watch our own players. You know, we're soon going to be announcing the wild cards that are going to get into the main draw. South Africans, we have 3 in the men, 3 in the ladies. And then in qualies, we have the same. So once we announce those, you'll also know that more South Africans have got an opportunity to play in a top class event. So next time, they won't need a wild card. If they do well, they're into the main draw first time round.
That's fantastic. Riad Davids, we'll leave it at that, and we'll catch up again soon.
Excellent. Thanks, JP, and thanks for all the good work you people are doing. Have a great day.
There you go, folks. Riad Davids, president of Western Cape Tennis. They're doing some fantastic work. Development is on track. High performance is on track, and we're really looking forward to their progress and following their athletes. Folks, that's a wrap from us here this evening. We'll leave it at that, and we'll remind you, of course, please remember at all times, wear a mask. Remember to practice social distancing and wash your hands as regularly as possible. That's it from us. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. A fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.